First up here at 9 o'clock, we want to get things started with breaking news. Roger Stone, who is a longtime associate of President Donald Trump, has been arrested down at his home in South Florida in connection with the Russia investigation. We'll tell you what Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office says Stone is now being charged with.
Also breaking this morning, police responding to a deadly hit and run in Haverhill. One man has been killed. We're live with what we know so far.
A school bus smash in Lakeville. Students on board when that bus hit this tree. Will tell you how wild weather could have played a role in that crash.
And getting ready for a super send-off. One last celebration at Gillette before the Patriots take off for Atlanta.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
Busy morning here on the news station, and we want to get things started with a live look outside. And how about some sunshine to greet you on this Friday morning? Temperatures have dropped a little bit, but it is a clear, gorgeous start to your day. Nice way to start the weekend. Thanks for spending your time here with us. I'm Chris Anderson.
And I'm Caitlin McCulley. It's a bit of a trade-off. We've got the sun today. It's a little colder than it was yesterday, though, Chris.
Right, but we don't have a 70-mile-an-hour wind or some soaking rains out there, so we do have a lot going for us as we go throughout this Friday. Yeah, some scattered clouds now into the mix. Beautiful sight over the city of Boston. Love seeing that sunshine glistening off some of the water, too. Do have 36 degrees right now in Boston, 29 in Worcester, 32 in Fitchburg. Temperatures above freezing for all of us this afternoon. Still below freezing out through the Worcester Hills, so it could be a few slick spots. Occasionally we'll see the winds gusting near 20 miles an hour. Sun-filled skies so far this morning, although more clouds are starting to work on in. And temperatures on average this afternoon in the upper 30s. Can't rule out a passing snow shower or flurry as some reinforcing shots of cold air come in overnight tonight and for the day tomorrow. Sunday, you start to turn it right back around. In fact, the weather looking pretty good for the Super Bowl send-off. We start in the 20s. We'll finish up in the upper 30s by the end of that send-off, guys.
Breaking news that we're following for you very closely this morning. A longtime associate and close friend of President Donald Trump in police custody now. Roger Stone facing numerous charges. 7's Dan Housley, you've had a chance to read through some of that indictment. He's here with the breaking details. What are we learning, Dan?
Well, Chris, the president's political advisor was arrested this morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We've got some video of the FBI outside his home there, taking him into custody. FBI agents there seen carrying guns and wearing tactical gear. At one point, an agent shouted, "Open the door." So a dramatic scene there. Now a grand jury has indicted Stone on charges brought by the special counsel, Robert Mueller. Right now he's facing 7 counts, including 1 for obstruction of official proceeding, 5 counts of making false statements, and 1 count of witness tampering. According to CNN, the indictment alleges that Stone tried to get stolen emails from WikiLeaks that could damage then-candidate Trump's opponents at the direction of, quote, a senior Trump campaign official. Excerpts of those documents read, quote, by in and around June and July 2016, Stone informed Trump campaign officials that he had information indicating Organization One, which is WikiLeaks, had documents whose release would be damaging to the Clinton campaign. Goes on to say, after the July 22nd, 2016 release of stolen DNC emails by Organization One, WikiLeaks, a senior Trump campaign official was directed to contact Stone about any additional releases and what other damaging information Organization One had regarding the Clinton campaign. Stone thereafter told the Trump campaign about the potential future releases of damaging material by Organization One. The indictment then says that when Stone discovered the congressional committees and FBI were investigating Russian interference in the 2016 election, he allegedly took steps to obstruct the investigation. Mueller also claims Stone made false statements to House Intelligence Committee and tried to persuade a witness to give false testimony. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet, who serves on the Senate Intelligence Committee, spoke with CNN this morning about the arrest.
This investigation has resulted in the indictment of over 30 people. I think 8 people have pled guilty. It is not a witch hunt. It is a professionally run investigation by Robert Mueller, who's respected by law enforcement all over this country. And I think it's incumbent on Democrats and Republicans to make sure this investigation is protected and that he's able to take it to its conclusion wherever it leads.
Stone expected to appear in court in Fort Lauderdale at 11 a.m. To put this in perspective, it's not good news for Stone, and the Trump campaign is named in this, but remember, this was a time when the Trump campaign, the media, and the Clinton campaign were all trying to find out what WikiLeaks was going to be releasing next. Stone's problem is he lied to investigators once they started getting into this about the nature of the contacts he has, the fact that he didn't just talk to people, but he had text messages and emails, and inside some of these documents, he talked talks to the person who he wanted to keep his story straight, and he talks about Richard Nixon stonewalling it and The Godfather. So not a good look for Roger Stone, but not terrible for the Trump campaign.
All right, Dan Housley live in the newsroom with that update. Another big name in connection with this case with Robert Mueller. Happening today now, the president's former campaign chairman, another big name, Paul Manafort, is expected to be back in court. This hearing is going to focus on Manafort's cooperation with investigators and some allegations that he lied to special counsel Robert Mueller. Apparently, he tried to skip today's hearing, but because of the importance of the hearing, the federal judge ordered that Manafort be there. Prosecutors claim that he broke his plea agreement when he lied to investigators. President Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, has been subpoenaed by the Senate Intelligence Committee to testify in mid-February. The testimony is meant to formally correct false testimony that Cohen apparently delivered last year about the Trump Organization's project in Moscow. Cohen canceled his public testimony earlier this week among growing concerns and fear for his family's safety. A committee spokeswoman has not commented on that situation.
We're also following breaking news here closer to home. Police responding to a deadly hit and run in Haverhill. We want to get right out to 7's Carrie Corrado for the latest on this investigation. Carrie.
Caitlin, good morning. That's right. Police say one man was hit and killed by a car right here in Haverhill, and it happened right here at this intersection of Merrimack Street and Main Street. Police did have one part of the road blocked off at one point, but it has reopened if you are headed this way. They say the driver who hit the man took off, and this hit and run happened around 7 o'clock this morning. So police, they are in their early stages of the investigation. Again, police say one man is killed, and once we learn more information, we will bring it to you. Reporting live here in Haverhill, Carrie Corrado, 7 News, Today New England.
You want to stay with the news station for the latest on these breaking news stories. As we continue to get more information, we'll update you on air, but you can always find that same info online or on our mobile and tablet apps. Back to the wild weather that moved through the Commonwealth and the region yesterday. Look at this. Heavy rain made for dangerous conditions all across the area. This was the scene in Lakeville where that school bus slammed head on into a tree and so much damage done to the front of that bus. There were students on board at the time. The good news here is that the students and the driver are okay.
And it was pouring rain when that crash happened. 7's Michael Yoshida is live in Lakeville with more. Michael.
Hey, Caitlin. Yeah, it was a wild scene here in Lakeville yesterday as Lakeville firefighters had to rush to help after that school bus went crashing into the woods Thursday afternoon.
With rain pouring, this school bus crashed head-on into trees in Lakeville.
When we got there, we had a school bus with students on it into the woods, approximately 20 feet or so.
None of the 4 students were hurt, and they were picked up by their parents. The driver was taken to a Brockton hospital following the crash that happened Thursday afternoon near the intersection of Pickens Street and Panettiere Drive.
It is kind of twisted and turned, and there are woods right up against the street lines.
About 2 hours before the crash, Lakeville police tweeted, "Due to weather-related issues, school buses may be delayed on the afternoon routes today. Please drive safe." Police and the fire department say despite the slick roads, the cause of this crash is under investigation.
When we did respond to it, it was, I would describe it as monsoon-type raining at the time. It was really, really raining hard. You got out of the fire truck and your helmet was just pouring water all over the place.
A wild ride, but again, the good news here, the children, they're okay, and despite going to the hospital, the driver of the bus expected to be okay as well. Reporting live in Lakeville this morning, Michael Yoshida, 7 News Today in New England.
Michael, thank you. And stay with the news station. Anytime severe weather strikes, we'll have complete storm coverage from the 7 Weather Team on air and online.
Let's talk football. Super Bowl showdown's getting close, a little over a week away, and the Patriots and their fans are getting ready for a super send-off. Fans encouraged to head down to Gillette Sunday for the big Patriots farewell. And while it's going to be quite the celebration there with thousands of fans, the team knows once they touch down in Atlanta, it's going to be all business. 7's John Coco live at Gillette with more. And if one team knows how to handle their business, it's the Patriots. They've been there before.
Yeah, Chris, for the Patriots, it's all football all the time. That is until Sunday. That's when fans can send their team off in style from right here at Gillette. Rob Gronkowski looking to stay in the groove heading into Super Bowl 53, coming off a vintage performance in the AFC Championship.
Thanks. No, it was good. Nah, but we're way over that game now. that game was cool, but there's other cool things out there.
And Pats fans will be looking to send the team off to those other cool things down in Atlanta. A rally will be held Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at Gillette. Blue Man Group will kick it all off. Tom Brady and other players will be there, along with Coach Belichick. Once again, Montilios will be building and bringing their giant football cake. And while this is fun, the team is quick to point out they're headed to the ATL for business.
We're in this game for one thing and one thing only, and that's to win a football game and to be crowned the Super Bowl champs at the end.
Since the playoffs started, I go home and my wife's like, do what you got to do. Throughout the playoffs, she was like, I want to go to the Super Bowl, so do what you got to do. I got the kids, study film, and it's the same way now. If she ever is on me, I'm like, you want to win the Super Bowl or not? So.
So you can see crews have set up these barriers for Sunday after the rally. The Pats will leave at noon and fly from Providence down to Atlanta. That's the latest live here at Gillette. John Coco, 7 News, Today New England.
As we mentioned, the Patriots would love for you to be there to send them off to the Super Bowl in style with a big rally. The team is holding that rally at Gillette Stadium. It's this Sunday. Gates open to the public at 8 o'clock. The rally begins at 10. Amaka Ubaka, Chris Lambert, and I will be out there. We'll have live Team 7 coverage from the field as the Patriots get ready to head down to Atlanta. 7 News heading to Atlanta as well for the Super Bowl. Adam Williams, sports director Joe Amorosino, and the rest of the sports team will be headed down to Atlanta for this big showdown. And you can catch their stories leading up to the big game only here on the news station.
More now on that breaking news we're following. We want to go live to Miramar, Florida, where 7's Rebecca Vargas is live outside the FBI building there with more on the arrest of Roger Stone. Caitlin, Roger Stone was arrested at his Fort Lauderdale home, which is not too far here from the headquarters, the FBI headquarters in Miramar. And this happened. We have some video that we go to right now that you can see. It happened, still late. Still dark outside early this morning. You can see FBI agents going into his Fort Lauderdale home where he was in fact arrested. And although he has maintained his innocence, Stone has been indicted by special counsel Robert Mueller, charged with 7 counts, including witness tampering, obstruction, and giving false statements about his interactions related to the release by WikiLeaks of hacked emails during the 2016 presidential election. Now, some of those false statements were made to the House Intelligence Committee. That's according to the indictment. The indictment also lays out in detail Stone's conversations about stolen Democratic emails posted by WikiLeaks in the weeks before Trump beat his Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton. Back out here live, Stone is expected to go before a federal judge in court here in Broward County at around 11. He has been under scrutiny for months, but again, he maintains his innocence. He was in fact arrested, though, in his home earlier this morning. We're standing by here in Miramar. I'm Rebecca Vargas, Today in New England. All right, Rebecca, thank you. We will be following this throughout the morning as Roger Stone goes to court later this morning.
Major development. Paul Manafort also doing court today, so we'll be watching both of those big developments in connection with Robert Mueller's investigation.
We'll have much more right after the break.
Weather with meteorologist Chris Lambert.
9:15 here on this Friday morning. Made it end of the week. Looking forward to the weekend and looking forward to more stable, quieter weather, aren't we? 36 degrees in Boston right now, 29 in Worcester. Pretty seasonable for this time of year. Temperatures right now a good 20 degrees colder than yesterday, but we were close to record highs yesterday with the numbers pressing 55 to 60 degrees. Unfortunately, the wind was pressing about 55 to 60 miles an hour as well. Lighter outside today, still a bit of a cool breeze, 10 to 15 miles an hour, and we do have colder air to the west of us that's going to work on in. That 36 in Boston will probably trade it in for about 40 degrees this afternoon, so even a smidge above average. More clouds into the mix. You've seen some of those stratocumulus clouds so far over the last couple of hours, but all in all, decent deal of sunshine still breaking on through. And other than a passing flurry or snow shower later this afternoon to this evening, should be quiet, and we need quiet weather. We need to dry out for a few days. Ground is saturated. A lot of that snow melt and that rain running back to the rivers and streams. And we have had some scattered flood warnings still in place across New England. It takes some time for all of that water to, find its way into the rivers and streams, and for some of these streams to crest. And we do expect them to reach minor flood stage. The Taunton River, Aspet River, Sudbury River, again, minor flooding, but that's the reason for those scattered flood warnings for the rivers there, scattered about southern New England. Do expect more scattered clouds into the mix this afternoon. Again, that passing passing flurry or snow shower. Not out of the realms of possibilities. Not all towns will see it, but there will be a few flakes flying in the atmosphere later on today and this evening. And then tonight, temperatures back in the teens and low 20s, only rebounding into the upper 20s to near 30 tomorrow. But I would say it's a more manageable cold because there's going to be very little wind out there to kick off your Saturday. And then Sunday right now looking good. Overall, I do expect more dry hours than wet on Sunday, but can't completely rule out an isolated rain or snow shower into the mix. Going to be more than isolated Tuesday night into Wednesday. Now the storm rolling through the East Coast will likely spread a swath of some rain and snow. Too early to draw rain snow lines, but we could keep an eye on that storm as we get into the middle part of next week. Weekend forecast, the milder of the 2 days will be on Sunday. Not a bad forecast out there at Patriot Place or inside Gillette if you're heading there for Sunday for the Super Bowl send-off, guys.
All right, time now for fast track traffic. Elena, how's it going out there? I know it was slow earlier.
Yeah, we had a lot of earlier problems. Fortunately, many of those are clear, but it's still very heavy coming inside the O'Neill Tunnel heading into the city. So give yourself some more time. Of course, if you're taking the expressway, a lot of red on the maps. Yellow still in that southbound lane due to some earlier problems. And we still have some issues. Still that closure in Concord, Cambridge Turnpike from Lexington Road to Hawthorne Lane, and that is because of flooding. Also, take caution if you're traveling on Store Road Drive westbound near the exit to Cambridge Street. Of course, there's that nasty construction going on, which will slow you down, but also a pothole now, pretty big. Also, potholes up on 128 northbound. This is near the exit to Route 114. There is a maintenance vehicle moving very slowly in that area, causing delays. 30 minutes is your drive time on the expressway, 15 on the Pike, 25 on 93. If you're taking the trains, expect delays to the Stoughton line, and there's a 10-minute delay on the Red Line.
All right, on 7 News Now, an update about a missing child in North Carolina.
The 3-year-old boy is safe this morning. So good news here. His name is Casey Hathaway. There's the young man who was playing outside of his great-grandmother's house with 2 other children when she looked and noticed he wasn't there anymore. The young man disappeared. Casey was gone for 2 days. He was found last night, taken to the hospital to be treated. Police used helicopters, drones, and dogs to search up and down about 1,000 acres to find the missing boy. Hundreds of volunteers helped out as well. As parents say they're thankful he's okay.
We just want to tell everybody that we're very thankful that you took the time out to come search for Casey and prayed for him. And he's good. He is good. He's up and talking. He's already asked to watch Netflix, so he's good. He is good.
Police say they found Casey in the woods about a quarter mile away from his home. He was scraped up a little bit, but overall he's in good health and good spirits.
Good to see a huge effort of people coming together to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, lucky young man.
All right, coming up on the news station, there are more pot shops coming to Massachusetts, where the latest stores are expected to open.
And up next, an emotional meeting between 2 strangers united in a touching tribute. We'll tell you what this picture is all about.
And we are continuing to follow breaking news. A longtime associate of President Trump, Roger Stone, arrested, facing charges in the Russia investigation. On the left side of your screen, that is a live look at his house in Fort Lauderdale. That's where he was arrested this morning. He is expected in court later this morning. We'll bring you updates after the break.